Hello, Culture Matters podcast. We are back with, not back, actually, this is the Genesis, the first or part one of the first rule of one of Dr. Jordan B. Peterson's works, Beyond Order. Before I introduce the rule in this introductory part, here's a quote just for this episode. Something we cannot see protects us from something we do not understand. The thing we cannot see is culture in its intrapsychic or internal manifestation. The thing we do not understand is the chaos that gave rise to culture. If the structure of culture is disrupted, unwittingly, chaos returns. We will do anything to defend ourselves against that return. Dr. Jordan B. Peterson, Maps of Meaning. Rule number one, it's a fitting quote in my mind for rule number one of Beyond Order. Now, the subtitle or subtext for Beyond Order, uh, I actually don't have it. It's funny. I thought I had it. I thought I knew it. I know the subtext for it's so obvious for 12 Rules for Life is an antidote to chaos or antidote to suffering. But the subtext here is 12 more rules for life. Duh. If you haven't read 12 Rules for Life by Dr. Jordan B. Peterson, if you've not experienced Mr. Peterson's work or come in contact with his work, I beg you to um, look past the news clippings and go pick up that book or buy it on Audible or type in a lecture, Jordan B. Peterson on YouTube. The subtext for Beyond Order. So I'm really starting with the second, and there's a couple of reasons why I'm starting with the second book. And I've mentioned this series for some time, and it's been a stressful, a stressful process in the best way possible for me to be confronted with each one of these rules and actually regiment myself to read them, to not just like read them or listen to them with haste, but to write notes and highlight and go through a process of actually preparing and filtering my thoughts through this process. And I hope that in these monologues, you're going to experience me as an avatar of you or who you could be um, in a process of taking, whether it's these rules or some other value add pundit of the world's rules or lessons. I hope this process teaches much more than just what I say or what I represent in my interpretation of these rules from the years of studying Dr. Peterson's work. And I said, and I'm saying part one because number one, I do not believe I'm going to get through my understanding of this rule today in the time allotted. Number two, I want to keep it open to not just listen to this back myself in the future and add and let it be an example of one of the implicit lessons I think in these rules and in Peterson's work, which is that the game is never ends. The learning never ends. The curiosity uh, never ends. And so the rule one is do not carelessly denigrate social institutions or creative achievements. Do not carelessly denigrate. social institutions or creative achievements. That can be a mouthful for someone that isn't a big reader or, what the heck does that mean? Don't talk smack about things you don't understand. Uh, it's easy to take all of the problems in my life that I'm either avoiding in a sense of awareness or not even fully aware that I'm avoiding and put all that energy into destroying things that actually are and have been helpful to me as an individual that are beyond my comprehension. Do not carelessly talk smack, undermine, destroy, denigrate. Like this word denigrate, I think, can go over our heads easily. So I'm going to look up the definition. We have denigrate. Um, some similar synonyms: disparage, belittle, diminish, deprecate, decry, attack, right? Do not attack social institutions or creative achievements. Social institutions. Those are key components of our culture, whatever, of your culture. The um the churches, and it's not just, actually I should look that up too. What are social institutions? A refers to a structured system of beliefs, norms, and behaviors within a society that organizes and regulates social life. Fulfilling Western, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's funny. That was a Freudian slip, maybe. There's so much of our culture that we can easily take for granted that gives us the opportunity to be who we are every single day. Now, creative achievements, right? I'm thinking about some of the other rules and the beyond order that denigrating social institutions, right? Let's say, casting judgment on our society, casting judgment on our society can be easy or can be much easier than putting our own lives in order. It's easy to have an opinion. It's hard to reflect one's opinion, one's beliefs in one's life. This chapter in this book, and really the literature as a whole, is a call to personal responsibility. It's helping us as individuals be the best versions of ourselves as we possibly can. How can I be the best version of myself as I possibly can if I haven't yet done the work, made the sacrifices, structured my life in a way where there's weight, there's depth, there's substance behind my words? So, and this chapter takes us through, and at the end, it makes a powerful, um, there's a powerful acknowledgement that rules, we will know when to break the rules if the rules have decayed into madness, or the rules are being manipulated or played by those with power in a way that is actually undermining the rules and undermining all persons. We will know as individuals, because we've done the work, because we've put our house in order, we will know when it's the right time. And we're actually called, there's virtue in going against rules that are being, let's say, that are not living their truth, or they're not embodying the truth they once were. So it's like, start by, and I'm going to be more granular here in a second, but if I get my act together and I put in the work and I make the sacrifices, like rule 7 and beyond order, work as hard as you possibly can on at least one thing and see what happens. Rule Two, imagine who you could be and aim single-mindedly at that. Rule four, notice that opportunity lurks where responsibility has been abdicated. If I if I if I put in the work and I make the sacrifices and learn the game, learn the rules, learn the game, build a build a life. You know, and I'm going to go into some of the examples he uses in this chapter, rule one, how to like build a life or become or integrate myself in the system. I will actually be in a position as an individual to make the system better, to right the wrongs, to improve the system. And there's a natural interplay between, but there's a natural interplay of the the system working and the system simultaneously being broken in certain aspects. And the more that I take myself seriously in this world, starting with my own life, something as subtle as cleaning the room or making the bed, or like rule number 6 in the 12 rules for life. I think the antidote to chaos. Um, put your house in perfect order before you criticize the world. The more that we do this, the more that I do this, the more that you do this, the better we'll be able to actually make the world a better place. The more apt we will be, the more weight or depth will be behind our words. Do not carelessly denigrate social institutions or creative achievements. The culture that you're a part of, the culture we're a part of, do not carelessly talk down and undermine it, but carefully talk down and undermine it. Carefully judge, carefully confront, carefully take stock of how the culture can be improved, how your culture, like in a bit, we talk a lot about business, obviously, on the show, because it's about business culture, people's company cultures, people's companies. Rule number 4 is notice that opportunity lurks where responsibility has been abdicated. If if I as an employee, like I'm someone that I'm not the owner of the company, if the leader above me in the management hierarchy, my boss, is not doing their all and giving their all, that can have a negative consequence on me, and I might want to follow the narrative of being a victim, which there's partial truth in that. If I am not in an ecosystem that is giving me that is making my life not necessarily easier, but even like opportunistic, I can actually notice that there's opportunity where responsibility has been abdicated, thrown away, put to the side. My boss above me is not doing what they need to do. My peers are not all in and not giving it their all. I can model their behavior. I can kind of fall back and play the victim and be a part of this culture. I can rise above, show up, give my all, and be the best version of myself. I can choose to actually lean into that conflict, to lean into the corruption and do the best version. And yeah, I might get chewed up and spit out of the culture, or I might, be attacked, and I might feel as though I'm the only voice of reason. You might resonate. Anyone listening could be resonate with that. It's like you're in this position of employment, or it could be a company. You have customers that you feel trapped, or you know it'd be easy. How often does it happen when things in our personal lives are out of order that we fall into these greater narratives? That's what this chapter starts that conversation. These greater narratives outside of what we can do something about. And we let those conversations, those meta narratives become something for us to think about, talk about, complain about, idealize, as opposed to figuring out and working on the things right before us. It's a call to take, to look at what's right before you, what's right before me, and to focus on that. Charlie Munger said, the work on your desk. Take care of the work on your desk, and the rest will take care of itself. There's a checklist in this chapter, in this rule. Do not carelessly denigrate social institutions, which we could say carefully judge social institutions and creative achievements after having put in the work, made the sacrifices, learned the rules, learned the game. Like then there's a call to be in, and that he talks about rather in this chapter, the difference between authority and power. It's the authority. I've been given the authority as a consequence of my competence and the positive reputation I have, and the rep and the cooperation that I've modeled among my peers and among my higher ups and among the overall society, that have been put in a position of authority. The people believe in me to hold power is different than taking the path of least resistance, not putting in the work and skirting, you know, around the truth, using manipulation and lies and deceits and so on to get in positions of authority. Carelessly denigrating social institutions, the fabric of your society, and others' achievements is an easy way to not focus on yourself, would be a simple way to put it. A checklist that is in this chapter that I thought is very helpful as this is part one of rule number one in Beyond Order: do not carelessly denigrate social institutions and creative achievements. This checklist was Dr. Peterson used to see where someone would be at in their life as it relates to how integrated they are as an individual. See if I don't have my notes here. Yeah, it's, have I been educated to my level of talent or innate ability, or my ambition? That's one question you can ask you. Have you been educated to your level, your innate talent, or your level of ambition? Have you? You know, how meaningful and productive is your free time? What's your health like? Is your health in order? At what degree? How about your spousal relationship? That interpersonal relationship. Is there one? Is there not one? How, I mean, I'm just saying, like, 1 to 10. I mean, this could be a good 1 to 10 exercise. Like, one's the lowest, 10's the highest. 1 to 10. Have you been educated to your level of innate ability or ambition? Write it down. How about free time? Do you have free time for yourself? 1 to 10. That's meaningful and productive. How about plans for the future? 1, you have no plan for the future. 10, it's crystal clear. And maybe it's even been discussed at length with the people in your life, that are a part of your individuality, right? The kid, partner, kids, mentors, parents, etc. What are the relationships like familial wise? 1 to 10. 1, estranged, terrible, right? 10, abundant, ritualized, meaningful. What about friends and social life? Do you have any? Do you not have any? Do you have more than you can count? Uh, I guess in one sense, how deep are those friendships? Are they uh, an inch deep and a mile wide, or do they have depth and width? Yeah, career. What's your career like? Do you make enough money? Are there prospects? This is tied into even just the plans for the future. If you're working for a company, is your career, is your future self connected to that company? Could you see yourself growing into your future self, the best version of yourself. And rule two helps in Beyond Order with this. Imagine who you could be and aim single-mindedly at that. Um, Rule three and 12 rules for life helps with this rule, with this component of it, which is make friends with people that want the best for you. You know, our peer group is gonna increase or decrease our level of success. If you don't have any friends, that can, and this is a lot of this is rule six and Beyond Order, abandon ideology. We can gravitate towards being that marginalized person that becomes the quote unquote ideologue, the irrational uh, and manipulatable individual to follow that group, the crowd effect. God, I could keep going, but those are a handful of things. Have you been educated? So that's the checklist for you. 1 to 10, one lowest, 10 highest. As we close the part one, do not carelessly denigrate social institutions and creative achievements, which we're saying here. The takeaway here is after we've done the work and we've learned the rules and we played the game and we've won the game and we've gotten ourselves on a level where we can be proud about what we have given up and what we've aimed at and what commitments we've kept and the results we've gotten, we have a duty and a responsibility to participate in society and make sure society improves. But before that, it becomes kind of like a way to just not focus on our own problems and get our own life together and develop meaning and actually become. It's a lot of irony here. But here's a checklist. Have you been educated at the level of your innate talent or and ambition? What do you do with your free time? Like how meaningful and productive is it? How's your health? Is it in order or not? Are you familial relationships? Where are those at? What about the personal relationship, the spouse, or girlfriend or husband, wife, etc. How's that going? What about your career? Another is how fruitful is it? Are you making enough money? Are you on track? That goes to your vision of your life. Like, do you have a plan of your life? No plan. 1, 10. Yeah, it's crystal clear. Very, I know. Imagine who you could be and aim single-mindedly at that. And um, my challenge to you, if you're listening to this still, would be to pick up Beyond Order, um, 12 more rules for life, to get the 12 rules for life, start reading the rules and follow along with me as I read these rules, as I take notes, as I prepare to do the best possible job I can to share what I'm learning, but also go integrate what I'm learning into what we talk about on the Culture Matters podcast from a business, because I think it's a very practical, they're practical books for entrepreneurs, employees, executives, people involved in business, or else I wouldn't be talking to them on the Culture Matters podcast. Uh, Please follow along. Share this with a friend that needs to get this book that you see that they don't have their life together. You care about them and you want the best for them. And they might be smart, they might be great, but their life doesn't reflect the potential you see in them. Share this book with them, share this podcast with them, and please leave us a review on the Culture Matters podcast, and we will see you next time. This is part one of Rule One: Do not carelessly denigrate social institutions or creative achievements by Dr. Jordan B. Peterson. And pick up a membership to Peterson Academy. No, nobody told me to say that. I'm just hugely in love with it.